Okay, hello, and today we're going to have a look at the mini metro level of Paris and the achievement that comes along with that called City of Lines, where you have to get 1,300 passengers using no more than 3 lines. Okay, so we'll just speed this up a little bit to start off with here. Alright, so the first thing that you always want to do when building a line is have a circle, square, and triangle connected to every single one of your lines. This is because the majority of your passengers are either going to be circles, squares, or triangles, and it's just going to cause major congestion if one of your lines is having to drop off to another one in order to take care of those passengers. You want drop-offs only to be left for uniques. Okay, now the good thing as well is we don't have to spend any of our weak points on buying more lines because you do start with 3. Um, so that's a good thing. So we can spend a lot getting carriages, which will probably be the main thing we do need. Now we'll try and get our third line in there pretty quickly. Probably once we get another triangle, we'll connect the square to that and then build that third line in. Okay, so we'll take the tunnels. Probably won't need that many tunnels for this one, but we won't need the lines ever, so. Alright, we'll just build a little line here. We'll take that off yellow, and there's that triangle we were looking for. And we'll give our second train 2 yellow, because they're probably looking worst off at the moment. Now, if you can, I generally don't like having too many of the same type of train station in a row. So you can see here we've actually got a very nice circle, triangle, circle, triangle. Generally no more than 2 in a row is the way you want to go. I might give that to blue. Like I said, we've got plenty of tunnels, so it doesn't matter if we have to just spend a couple extra ones to get over there. I might just make a couple of loop lines here as well. We'll just take the interchange for now. We won't use it too quickly because once you use the interchange, I don't think you can take it back. So we won't get too hasty on using that. So what we'll do is we'll just sort of loop our lines a little bit. Generally, I'm not all for looping, but so we should be able to survive with a couple of looping lines on this one. So yeah, we'll just do it a bit differently. Now, when building a looping line, my biggest recommendation is that you want to have it so that all your trains are going the same one direction. Now I think we've only got one train on these 2 lines and those 2 are going the same way and everyone's going counterclockwise, so we'll take that. The reason I don't like trains going 2 different directions on a loop is that, say if you get at this station here, say if it had a square and you've got a train coming around on the blue and it sees that, it'll go, well, if train coming clockwise is pretty close to the blue, so I don't have to worry about that. And so you have half your trains not doing half the work, which can get a little bit messy if you're anticipating on a train being the savior of you avoiding a dire collapse, and then they just don't pick up the guy that needed to go. Okay, now we've got this situation up here with yellow that's going to have 4 circles in a row. Actually, we might give that to green. So what we want to do is just have a look at this and see if there's a way that we can get these circles on the other side of that triangle. So we might just sort of do that, just so it breaks it up a little bit. Actually, we might give that to blue. We can even give that to blue, really. Oh, no, we can't. We do just want to keep an eye on dark green over here though, because he's not really having to take on that much at all so far, and so we might we could even probably look at shifting over blue or yellow, sorry, a bit this way and giving some of this to green. Just depends on what way we're going to continue to expand out here. Okay, we'll definitely take the carriages. And we will give the carriage to blue. Now, blue is probably our most serious line at the moment because it is the only one rocking unique stations. So we probably expect it to be doing the most work because the other two lines are going to have to drop off passengers for it, while the other two stations aren't going to take any drop-offs yet. Okay, now we do still have our interchange there. I would probably predict that our square is going to be our major interchange because that's the only drop-off point that green has to the blue line. Yellow does have this triangle as well, so it shouldn't be necessary just yet. I mean, we could really even use it at this stage just as a last-ditched effort to save a line. So what I mean by that is if we're at a point where we're just off, say, the 1,300 passengers, and you see that one station may sink you, you can just use that as a get-out-of-jail-free card and hit that one station to just save you for a few extra seconds if that's enough to get you those final passengers through. Now, I am tempted to turn the direction of these blue trains around, and we might actually do it. So we'll get them heading clockwise. And the reason we're going to do this is that you can see that the rares on this line are 1, 2, and 3. So what that means is that any of the rares that are getting dropped off at either this triangle or the square are going to be for one of those 3 stations. So there's no point in having to take them all the way through all these non-rares. Basically, we'll be taking full trains through these non-rare stations. So instead what we'll do is take it so that they can clear those out as quickly as possible. And yeah, focus on these guys and just cleaning them up for so we don't get any overflow. Now I'm just keeping an eye on this circle here. He is sort of seeming to get in a bit of trouble. If yellow can't take that load, we might consider just adding blue to that line as well, just so that so he can blue can help them out, because blue's obviously going to have our best line so far. Although we'll probably want to give a carriage to yellow pretty soon. Okay, there. Now we're sort of expanding out this way, so green should start to come to the party a bit more. Alright, we'll give yellow a carriage. I'll just keep an eye on this, make sure that yellow gets to there fine. Yep, no dramas. Okay, now it looks like it may be green that we'll give the extra train to. Yep, there we go. Now, you can see we've got a new square down here, which can be a bit handy to break up their level by a square. So what we'll do is we'll actually connect it to that part so that if any of these 3 stations have squares, then they can be cleared out there, as opposed to if we put it here, then it would be only that station benefiting from the new square. Okay, we'll of course take another carriage. And we might just give that to the blue that doesn't have a carriage yet. As you can see, our blue line is getting rather complicated down there. But that's not too big a problem if we're giving all the carriages to that same one point. It's allowed to get a little crazy. We'll give that to yellow just so that yellow's circles are broken up a little bit more. Actually, we might put that in between those two, so there's 2 circles on either side of that. And we might give our extra train to blue. So blue's done for trains, and then the next one will go to yellow. You can see green still isn't that long a track. Okay, and that's it. We've hit our 1300 mark. So yeah, hopefully that gives you a few ideas of how to get this achievement. Obviously, any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them in just below. I'll carry on with this one, but I assure you nothing exciting is going to happen. So yeah, till next time.